Alright everybody, hey what's up? This is Jack with SpyPie Gaming TV. Well, we have been a little bit dead on the channel here as of late. A little bit more of life happens really, without digging too far into the details. But anyhow, we will be back with a continuous stream of content. It may not be to the degree that it was before, but we have not given up on the channel or our audience. So anyway, I want to slide that quick note in there. So today's video is going to be yet another farming route, honestly, because it seems there is some interest in farming Craglorn. Which makes sense because you can get the Nirncrux material from here, trait material from here. So that's a decent source of income. And like just so everybody is aware, if you're not, it is a little more difficult to come by. Once upon a time, you could only get an upper Craglorn. I've heard tell that may have changed, but either way, the farming route that I use is an upper Craglorn. So we're going to go ahead and dive into that. Let's see here, bring up the map. Oop. That didn't work out right, did it? Okay. So, alright. Where I farm from is the Way Shrine near Dragonstar. There's a nice little area in here that has a good mix of materials. Honestly, you can just run it. You can go south from here, run this, make a loop, come back around. And then you can also go out east from here, as far as you want, come back. Craglorn has a lot of group areas. There's a lot of, but as you can see, there's a good amount of resources. I've tried a little bit of farming in pretty much all over, with the exception of down in this region. But there is a good number of places. If you wanted to, come up with a route that you're comfortable with farming. So anyhow, I will just run through a demonstration real quick, and we'll see if we get any Nirncrux, either potent or oh, I forget what the other one's called. That looks bad, doesn't it? There's two different ones, one for armor and one for weapons. The potent Nirncrux is quite a bit more income producing. It's more valuable. This is the same build that I used in previous farming videos. Let's kind of hug the wall here as I go through. Anyhow, as I started to say, this is not the exact same build. It's a very similar build. There's some things that I'm trying out from previous farming videos. There are places like that where you're going to run into, you may have to, if you don't have some damage, then I hit the wrong button. Anyhow, if you don't have some damage built in, you're going to have a little bit of a problem on your hands, because there may be some stuff that you do have to kill. I fairly confident in saying that Nirncrux, there we go, Fortified Nirncrux, that's the other one, Fortified and Potent. I do not believe Nirncrux, if I am correct in saying so, comes from rune nodes. But as I go along, I generally grab everything anyway, just because, well, really just because that way I have it. No reason not to get it, in my opinion. Well, I haven't done this one in a little bit, and it's showing. There's also a few nodes out in the middle of this particular area that you can, you know, if you want to, you can go for it. You might as well, you're here. But yeah, this is, you know, this is just one of many routes that can be used or ran in Craglorn to harvest. And then I'll run along, show you the other ones. Might as well since we're here. So this will be the one that I was talking about to the south. 2 fortified Nirncrux out of that one. I would say you definitely want to grab all the ore, anything that's made for, or anything that clothing, armor, weapons, things like that can be made out of. I would grab those. That's probably, here's the group areas that I was talking about. That's probably your best bet if that's what you're looking for, is Nirncrux. You really have to run through that one to get anything out of it. But you're probably better off anyway, especially if you're on a strictly harvesting and crafting build. I would go over and grab that, but it's surrounded by some enemies I don't want to have to mess with, so. This is down to the, and you can kind of go, you know, it's at of your discretion how far south you go from the Dragonstar Way Shrine. There are a good amount of resource nodes here, and it's fairly diverse. So if Nirncrux is, if you're not specifically after Nirncrux, you do have, you know, a good amount of options on your hands. And because of the way nodes repopulate, I usually will go ahead and grab things like runestone nodes. But I have done the Sigil Quarter skill line, and runes can repopulate as a Sigil portal, and all different types of things come out of there. So, you know, it's worth grabbing in the event that it does repopulate as a Sigil portal or something else. So you're constantly in and out of group areas here. It's grabbed a wasp. Anyhow, and there's usually a little bit of stuff, you know, around this lake here. It's pretty self-explanatory. These are the two out of the 3 that I had mentioned specifically that I usually use. Just because they're so close to the way shrine, you don't have to run, you know, quite as far to get as much, and you can kind of cycle back and forth in between them. So tried to move on before I was ready. But yeah, you just, run along through here, grab what you're after. You can see there's a good, a good variety of things. You can stop and pick up if you choose to do so. And, everything sells in-game economy. Pretty much everything sells. As long as, you're pricing your items right. So, anyhow, I'm glad to be back, and that's, a couple examples of ways to run Craglorn. The other option not covered was this one. Let's get down here. Okay. The other option that you do have is to go out in this direction and just kind of stay along the, once you get to it, you just kind of stay along the river. Outside of that, I find it easiest to run this, come back up, run this, just kind of a wonky looking figure eight. And more than likely, or not more than likely, I know from personal experience, you'll end up with plenty of things to sell, get a good income going. So anyhow, that's probably going to be it for today's video. I wanted to address it because it seemed to be requested. Had a couple of questions in the comments about it on previous harvesting videos that we had done for the channel. Anyhow, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below if you have any questions, or any questions about particular farming routes or really anything else. I had originally intended on doing just pug and a vet dungeon, because Spy and myself, we don't want, it's not our intention for this to simply be a information reference channel. We like to play the game and have fun, doing so as well. So what better way to do that than pug life, right? I ran scale crawler peak earlier and it was a hot mess. Pugged it. So anyway, love to have you in the audience. Love to have you subscribe to the channel. If you like, you look through and you like what you see. Anyhow, other than that, that's all I've got. This is Jack, and we'll see you guys in the next video.